Thank you. Please be seated and tell us your name.
My name is Hannah Hussein.
All right, you're with us.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And can you tell us your connection with the family of the victims in this case?
The family members.
Okay. And how are you connected to the family?
He's my uncle's son.
Let me direct your attention back to last year. Were you employed in connection with the family?
Yes.
And how were you employed?
I was employed as the sales at Ham Tramck.
Okay. Now, I think you're going to be the first one that I'm kind of sure you need to speak up pretty loud so everyone in the first two rows can hear you too. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay. And where were you employed?
Ham Tramck.
Okay.
It's the Golden Glitter Shop.
And was the victim Sam the owner of that?
Yes, he was.
And how long had you worked there?
20 years.
Okay. And what were your duties there?
Sales, inventory, clean and everything like.
Okay. Did you work in both stores or just one store?
Both.
And when you were working in the pawn store, were you familiar with the way that they would do transactions as far as people pawning items and then coming back to get those items back out of pawn?
Yes.
Were there type of documentation that you would do when you were doing pawns?
Yes.
And what was the documentation that you had standardized for that store?
We have to ask for IDs.
Okay. And when you say ID, do you take an individual's driver's license?
Yes.
Do you take any type of fingerprints?
Yes.
Do you enter that into your computer?
Yes.
Are these things just your store policy, or are these part of state law?
State law.
Okay. And I'm not familiar with the pawn industry, but there's a rate of redemption. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is that rate of redemption, is that a store specific, or is that state law too?
State law.
Okay. And what's the redemption rate?
3%.
Okay. In your dealings with the store, you're familiar with how to enter things into the computer?
Yes.
You're familiar with how to take fingerprints?
Yes.
You've dealt with a lot of customers?
Yes.
Okay. This case occurs, and obviously it touches your family very deeply. Do you, as part of the store, go back through the records to see if, after Carlos Hernandez was arrested, if he had any connection with your store?
Yes.
And did you do so?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 13.
Come on.
If I can approach, Judge.
Yes.
I'll ask you if you recognize this computer printout.
Yes.
Okay, and can you tell us whose name is on that?
Carlos Hernandez.
Okay, and do you have more documentation of pawns that were conducted by Carlos Hernandez and your store?
Yes.
Can you please look through those and tell us what you see in there as far as the documentation and the dates?
The date on the first one is March 7, 2022. And the second page is a picture of his picture in the system, the ID.
And what's the next one?
The third one shows the date that he pawned it, this item for $100.
Okay.
It's October 18, 2023, and it was at 2 o'clock, and it was 2:02:47.
And does it say how much was pawned?
It was pawned for $100.
And the next page?
This is a different page, but if it's for the same paper as this
Yes,
one.
that's
So
the
it's
receipt
same-
page.
It's the same one, yeah.
Yes.
And this ticket It was also pawned on October 18, 206, $400.
And what was that?
What was the item? This page does not show me what was the item, but there should be another paper that shows each one, each ticket.
And the next transaction?
This page also goes for that. The third transaction was on October 18, 2023 for $1,200.
And does it say the item?
On this page it doesn't.
Does it say it on the next page?
On this page. It should say right over here in the red, but to be honest, I cannot read it.
Okay.
Oh, I do see, actually, sorry. I do see it's a pair of glasses.
Are those Cartier glasses?
Cartier glasses, yes.
Okay. Is there another transaction?
This transaction also on October 18, 2023 for $1,100. This is a charm, 10-karat gold charm.
Okay. And what date was that?
October 18.
Are there any other?
2023,
Does that complete all the transactions?
yes.
Are there any redemption documentation when he came back in to redeem any of those items?
You don't have him here, but I know that I took a picture and I sent it to
Okay.
keep it on file.
And when were they redeemed, as best you remember?
January, February.
Of-
I don't know the exact date.
Of what year?
2024.
Okay. Are those items kept in the ordinary course of the business? The items I've shown you?
Yes.
People would move People's Exhibit number 13 into evidence.
I have no objection on the evidence, Mr. Zuazo.
No objection. 13 is in.
Now, in addition to the receipts that we just discussed, was there another occasion that stood out in your memory after the arrest of defendant Hernandez?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that occasion?
He came in and he asked about a Rolex watch.
Okay, when you say he, you're talking about defendant Hernandez?
Correct.
Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you please point to him and identify an article of clothing that he's wearing? You're going to have to say what color his shirt is, if you can.
Beige.
May the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant Hernandez.
The record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant Hernandez.
Can you tell us what you recall about that occasion?
Me and Mr. Sam were doing inventory.
Who's the first person you referred to before you said Sam?
Me and Sam were doing the inventory,
Okay.
and he walked in towards us and asked about Rolex watches.
Do you have a special section in the store where the Rolex watches are kept?
Yes,
And is it in a display case in part of the store?
it's in a display showcase.
Okay. And what happened after the defendant asked about that?
I walked with him towards the watches, and I'm sorry. I walked with him towards the watches, and we talked a little bit about the watches. Then he asked me about the owner, and I pointed at Sam. Then I called Sam towards us.
And did Sam come over towards you?
Yes.
And what happened when Sam came over towards you?
They shook hands and they talked, but about that time I walked away.
Okay. When defendant Hernandez had come in that day, was he accompanied by anybody else?
No.
He was alone?
Yes.
On the, I don't have any other questions, Judge.
All right, any questions? Zuazo here?
Yes, I do. Just to get some clarification. When this introduction was conducted with the Rolex watches, when did that occur?
I don't remember the date.
Okay, without a specific date, just in time. Was it before the transactions that are recorded in exhibit number 13 that you went
I
through?
don't remember the dates.
It could have been beforehand or afterwards,
I don't remember.
but you don't have any doubt remembering that Mr. Murray and Mr. Hernandez shook hands in Mr. Murray's pawn store?
I do remember that.
Okay, you just can't tell us when it occurred.
Yes,
that a
I
yes?
do remember.
So you recognize Mr. Hernandez because of them shaking hands and you talking to him about Rolex watches, correct?
Correct.
All right. And so that, when did you make that recognition? When did you see Mr. Hernandez's picture?
When we looked him up on the computer to see if he was one of our customers.
And you saw it, the identification card?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I've got nothing further.
Cross-examine defendant Hernandez.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
If I ask you something that you don't understand, could you let me know and I'll try to ask it a different way?
Correct.
Okay. You stated that you worked at Ham Tramck Pawn for 20 years. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is it a busy pawn shop?
Not really.
How many customers do you usually have on a day?
It depends on the season.
What's the busiest season?
Around Christmas.
Okay. So on an average day during Christmas, how many customers do you have per day?
I really don't know.
Okay. 4, 10, 50?
No. Something around that.
Around what?
Around the 50.
So 50 people per day during Christmas. What's the average in a non-busy season?
10.
Have you worked the same shift all 20 years, or does your shift vary?
No, my shift's vary.
Do you recall what your shift was back in March of 22?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what your shift was in October of 23?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what your shift was on this occasion that you've just described, that my client came in and shook hands with the owner?
I don't remember because as I said, I work with the family and I'll work with a flexible schedule.
Now, you were provided copies of paperwork for the transaction when it's alleged Mr. Hernandez came in to pawn his items, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You then testified about a whole nother set of paperwork that you weren't shown today, showing that it was at some point in January or February where Mr. Hernandez came in again, this is 2024, and redeemed or picked back up his property. Is that correct? How long does the store keep the property?
Usually we do keep them for like about a year. Sometimes like when special kind of cases, we hold on to the receipts till we are told we could get rid of them.
Okay. Is the redemption paperwork the same type of records that you were just shown with the pawn? Is it the same kind of records?
It'll be one of those papers, but it will have his signature that he picked up his items.
Okay. And when someone comes up back to pick up items, do they have to show ID?
Yes.
Do they have
The
to get
ID or the ticket.
Okay, ID or the ticket. So this conversation that you are describing, you are not sure if it's January of 2024 or February of 2024, correct?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now the conversation, let me back up, and I may have confused myself, so I probably confused you. The conversation where you are alleging Mr. Hernandez came into the store and shook the hand of the owner, Sam, you have absolutely no idea what year, month, anything about that interaction, correct?
I know it was 2024, but what month, what date exactly, I don't know.
How do you know that it was in 2024?
Because when the accident happened, I know it wasn't too long when the time that I have seen him.
Do you remember if it was cold outside, warm outside?
It was cold.
When you had this independent recollection of this conversation that you saw, did you alert police?
No.
Did you ever write out a statement and send it to the police saying, I think this is very important, here is what I know?
About what? About him?
About this shaking hand situation over a Rolex?
No.
You obviously think that detail is extremely important, correct?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Any redirect?
Did defendant Hernandez stand out in your memory because of his size?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay, all right, thank you. You may step down. Any objection to the release of this witness?
Oh, no objection at all.
Can she remain in the courtroom to watch the rest of the proceedings if she desires to?
Sure, there's no objection by Ms. Lofton. Recall.
Your Honor, if we could reserve that for a potential argument at some further time, we could do that now if we could approach.
Well, all right, why don't we ask Ms. Hussein out of the courtroom right now, and what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, it's been about a couple hours.
I just talked to Ms. Lofton. If she doesn't want that witness to remain here for whatever reason, I don't care. I'll just tell her she can't stay in here.
I'm more than happy to give the reason on the record, Your Honor. Ms. Hussein testified that there are documents that she sent to the police or sent to someone about the redemption period that I want to make sure that I have, or if that isn't true, that the prosecutor's office or the sheriff's department did not receive those documents. I do think they're extremely relevant, especially since they are trying to put my client in the store in 2024. So I do think that's relevant. So I would like to know if those documents were actually received, and if so, I will put on the record I don't believe I have them. So I want to make sure that we have everything we need. Obviously, the prosecutor is not intending to admit those, which is a little difficult to understand since he's admitting the other records that he received from the store.
So you might recall her based on that, or would you question a detective regarding that?
So I think I would probably question a detective unless all of a sudden I am presented with this document that I would like to cross-examine this witness with that document.
Understood. All right, so Ms. Hussein will stay outside of the courtroom until that's determined, and just let me know at any time that that's not your position anymore, and we'll allow her back in because it is an open courtroom.
Absolutely.
Okay,
understood.
and so we'll take our break now, about 15 minutes.
Thank you.
All rise. All rise. Okay, thank you. You may be seated.
Recalling People versus Joshua Zuazo, case number 2024-291-59950-FC, and People versus Carlos Hernandez, case number 2024-291-945-FC.
John Petrofessa and Andrew McGarrow on behalf of the people.
I was just going to say, I see everybody. Nobody's changed, right? We're all
No.
here. Okay. Mr. McCarthy, Ms. Lofton, both defendants. All right, we'll bring in the juries.
Yes, I'm recalling Hannah Hussein for 60 seconds. The attorneys have all talked during the break. We just want to clarify one thing.
Let's do it.
And then she can stay.
Please be seated.
People are recalling Hannah Hussein.
All right, we're calling Mrs. Hussein.
Good. Approach, you're still under oath, the court will.
Yeah,
advise
Mr.
you
Singh,
that.
you're still under oath, okay? I'm not gonna re-put you under oath, I know you just testified, so that oath still remains. You may be seated. Go ahead, Mr.
Thank
Professor.
you, Your Honor. Hannah, at the break, the attorneys discussed exhibit number 13, and we just want you to clarify a couple things for the jury, okay?
Sure.
We talked to you about the redemption payments, and I think maybe we need to clarify that for the record. Do you recognize exhibit 13 regarding the transaction with a pawn date of October 18th, 2023?
Yes,
Is there in fact redemption payment information
Yes.
on this? And this is dated January 26, 2024, is that correct?
yes,
And that took place at 3:15 PM?
correct,
And the item was pawned on October 18, 2023 for $100, and it was redeemed on January 26, 2024 for $124, is that correct?
correct,
The attorneys also talked about documentation regarding the pawn slip regarding an item that was pawned on October 18, 2023 at 2:06 PM for $400. Do you see
Correct.
that?
yes,
And it correctly has a redemption payment for January 26, 2024 at 3:15 PM for $460.
correct,
And all this paperwork was pulled up, if I'm reading your information right, December 12th, 2024, is that correct?
correct,
And also regarding transaction also dated on October 18, 2023 at 2:10 PM, there was an item pawned for $1,200, is that correct?
correct,
And there was a redemption that was received on January 26, 2024, 3:15 PM for $1,356.
correct,
Is that correct?
yes,
And finally, redemption, a pawn for, on October 18, 2023 for, at 2:12 PM for $1,100.
correct,
And there was a redemption made on January 26, 2024 for $1,244.
correct,
And that was the redemption information that you had discussed that you didn't confirm until just now,
Yes.
is that right?
yes,
Okay, were you nervous when you were testifying?
yes,
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add to what we just discussed?
no,
I don't have any other questions.
Do we have any cross here?
I have no cross.
I just,
Or so this is cross for Hernandez?
yes, thank you. Ma'am, you indicated that you can redeem in one of two ways. One, the person can show their ID, and if the ID matches the person who pawned it, they can pick it up, correct?
correct,
Or if you have a ticket or a slip that the store gives, you can pick it up that way, correct?
only the ticket,
Only the ticket. Okay, so if you have the ticket and you're not the person that pawned it, you can still pick it up, correct?
with your ID. You have to have your ID and someone else's ticket,
Okay, but your ID does not have to match the person who pawned it, correct?
if you have the ticket,
If you have the ticket, yes.
no,
Okay, nothing further.
Any redirect?
Do you note it any differently than we just saw if it's a third person who's picking it up?
no,
I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. You may step down, and I believe you are now excused as a witness.
Yes.
No
I have no
objection,
objection.
huh?
No objection, all right, so you may remain in the courtroom if you see fit. People's next witness?
People call it Brian Kelly Broad.
good afternoon, sir. Go ahead and raise your right hand. I'll get you sworn in. Do you swear to affirm the testimony you're going to provide today is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, put your hands on. Are those transition glasses?
Yes.
Okay, that's why they're a little bit dark. No problem. You
Take
can-
a minute for them to change.
Okay, no worries. You can have a seat and just tell us your name.
Brian Kelly Broad.
All right, you're with.
Thank you, Your Honor. And sir, can you spell your first name, your last name for us, please?
Brian Broad.
Okay. And Mr. Broad, do you know a Joseph Zuazo? Or
Joshua
Zuazo?
Zuazo?
Yes.
Yes.
And how do you know that?
He worked for me as a temporary employee, and then later on we hired him into the main company,
Okay. And where was that employment at?
St. Mary's Cement.
Okay. And is that your company?
Not my company. Just I'm production manager there.
Okay. And do you remember when that was that you guys hired him in as a temporary employee?
You know, I could go get documents and look at it and tell you exactly what dates they are. I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay.
It's been probably a year and a half ago.
Okay. So would it be fair to say it was sometime in 2024 that he was employed there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when he was employed, he was a temp employee, or was he an actual employee of the cement company?
He was a temporary employee. We initially hire people into through a temporary service, and they do some cleanup activities and stuff like that for us. Gives us a chance to evaluate the employees. You know, what's their work ethic like? You know, what kind of person are they? Do they get along well with other people? And then from there, we take the next step and bring them up into the employment of the company itself.
Okay.
St. Mary's Cement.
And with Mrs. Zuazo, did you do the actual hiring of him as a temp, or was that just done outside of you?
Well, they come in and they have to go through a certain amount of training, and we also interact with them, kind of walk them through, kind of walk them around, kind of give them an initial interview and that stuff. And we have to do that because it costs us so much to train them, and we've had quite a few people. It's not a job for everybody. It's dirty, it's hard, it's nasty, it's hot in summer, cold in winter, and it's not for everybody. So we've had a lot of temporary employees that come in and take the training at $500 a crack and then not come back the next day.
Okay. And
So we use a process where we walk them out into the field so they can see what the other temps are doing, and so on like that.
so would it be fair to say the temporary employees that are hired there during this process, are you intimately involved with their supervision and training at that time?
Yeah, quite a bit. I actually have a supervisor that runs the crew, but I interact with them quite often.
Okay. And so it would have been sometime in 2024, you believe that Mrs. Zuazo started working there?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you work shifts with him as a temporary employment or a temporary employer?
That I work shifts.
Yeah, shift. Were you when he worked? Were you working?
The temps work pretty much straight Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30.
Okay. And was he working with you at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Did he remain a temporary employer or employee during that time, or was he ever hired in through your company?
He did get hired in. So he was a temporary employee for 90 days. It gives us a look at them, how they're doing, like I said, what's their work ethic? Do they get up and get it? Are they on time every day? Do they come every day? Right. So
And so at some point he was hired on.
he was.
Okay. And did he remain employed there?
No, he didn't.
Do you recall how long he was actually employed as a employee of that company?
It was approximately 60 days. They go through a 90-day probation period for the union, and within that 90 days, we have an opportunity to look at him. Josh, even though he was a good worker, you could ask him to go out and do stuff for you. He had a problem with wearing safety gear and sometimes not doing the right things when it came to safety. He was, and I had several complaints about him being.
Well, I'm going to object to complaints. What this witness knows that he observed, that's one thing, but talking about what somebody else says, it's hearsay.
I agree. Redirect
Yeah.
the witness.
And Mr. Broad, at some point he was no longer retained through your company. That's fair to say. Okay. And do you you recall how often during that time period, during that 90-day probationary period, did you work with him?
I saw him usually every day.
Did you have lunch with him?
No, I'm a manager,
Okay.
so I don't eat lunch with the guys. Matter of fact, I don't eat lunch at all mostly. So,
Okay.
no,
But
I
what,
would see him in the field when he was working, passing by, so on and so on.
did you talk with him?
Yeah, sure.
Like, did you make small talk, become friendly with him?
I try to be friendly with all the guys that work with me. It works out better that way.
Okay. And as part as while he is a temporary employee, is he given materials of the company like clothes, boots, work tools, anything like that?
Not as a temp, but once they hire into the company, into St. Mary Cement, then we give them uniforms, steel-toe boots. They're issued at least one pair a year. Safety glasses, they needed them, and that was something that he needed, so we got him some safety glasses. And that not the kind that you just the plain old ones. We bought him prescription glasses, specific.
So not like the cheap plastic ones you get at Home Depot.
No, these were well, I say very nice. They're prescription safety glasses, right? They're a step above just the normal plastic ones that folks are getting.
And he was given those glasses?
Yes, sir.
Right. And you said that employees would get work boots. Did he receive work boots as well?
Yes, he did.
And then did he receive any sort of clothing that would signify St. Mary Cement or anything like that?
Yeah, we have fire resistant, fire retardant clothing that are uniforms that they're required to wear. They're high visibility, and then they have stripes on them that are reflective. And then usually the guys get like a blue colored, I don't know, looks like a Carhartt, they're actually Carhartt, but they look like khakis or something like that, or work pants, right?
And if their services aren't retained after the period, do they give those items back or do they retain them?
Well, we request that they give them back, but the circumstances in which Mr. Zuazo left employment were less than, he was pretty upset.
So it would be fair to say.
It would be fair to say that he probably had uniforms that he hadn't turned in, or he was actually in a uniform when he left, I believe.
So you're unaware if you were able to collect those items from him?
No.
Okay. And while he was working with you, did you become familiar with his voice?
Yes.
Right. How about the way he walked?
Yeah.
Was that distinctive in any way to you?
Different than, well, I mean, everybody walks different and has a different manner in which they.
Okay. And at some point back in October of 2024, did you see Ring video camera through the media that caught your attention?
Yes.
Okay. And when you saw that, did you recognize, how did it draw your attention?
When I saw it, I thought to myself, gosh, that looks like Joshua Zuazo. He had that same black hat, that floppy hat that he always wore to work, and that black satchel, and the uniform. I was like, God, that's our shirts.
And when you saw that, that immediately sparked a memory for you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. And when you saw that, what did you do with that information?
I talked to Pacmire.
Would that be Detective Pacmire?
Yeah.
And would that be of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Okay. And did you explain to him what you saw and who you thought that was?
Yeah.
Okay. And while you were working with him during that period, did you know him to have any other nicknames or names?
Well, I'd heard guys talk about.
Well, I'm going to object again. If it's hearsay, then I don't think he should be telling this jury what he heard other people say.
What's your position about that?
I don't believe it's hearsay. May I follow up real quick?
Well, why don't you believe it's hearsay?
I'm going to ask him a follow-up question regarding whether or not he knew him to go by a different name.
Well, I think it's not hearsay, so I don't think it really goes to the truth of the matter asserted. So you can ask the question.
Did you know him to go by any other names?
I knew him to go by Yogi.
You knew him to go by the name Yogi.
Yes.
Did you ever call him Yogi, or did you always call him by
I
name?
didn't. I always called him Joshua.
Okay. I'm going to, 1 second, I'm going to play something for you. You can see that in your screen, okay?
I'm gonna play what's been marked as People's Exhibit 5.
This previously entered 5.
Yes.
You should say you.
E.
And I didn't want to bother you guys for late, but we had to check the outside.
Yeah, I understand. I do understand. You were on edge.
Listen, I did. How you doing today, sir? Good. I'm all right. So, you want to read? What am I paying for? Just to give us consent to check the inside of the home. So what we have to do is we have to check for like cracks in the heat.
And that person that came walking up to the driveway and standing on a porch, is that the person you believe to be Joshua Zuazo that you were working with previously?
Yes, sir.
And what was it in that particular video that we just saw and that you previously watched that struck your...
Well, what I noticed here is the way he's walking up, he's got that black satchel that he always carried with him to work and that stuff. There was a different video I saw in which he had that black floppy hat on.
Just 1 second. And but are you pretty sure that's the person you know to be Joshua Zuazo in that video?
Looks like him.
I'm going to play, Your Honor, what's been marked as People's Exhibit 5 that had already been admitted, Your Honor.
Come on, man. Let's keep going.
Did you just hear that voice in there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Does that voice sound familiar to you?
Sounds like Joshua.
That's Joshua. Okay. And that person that you help supervise and you work with, that you know to be Joshua Zuazo, is he in the courtroom today?
Yes, he is.
Could you please point to him, identify by something he's wearing?
He's wearing a dark blue shirt and glasses.
Now, let the record reflect that inquiry ID has been made defendant Zuazo.
The record reflect the witness says identified defendant Zuazo.
I have no further question, Your Honor.
All right, cross-exam Zuazo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Broad. My name is Michael McCarthy. I represent Mr. Zuazo, and I have some questions to ask you here this afternoon regarding your testimony. Now, if I don't make myself clear to you with a question that I ask, please tell me that, then I'll rephrase the question, okay? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes? Okay, well, I understand it's a little hard to get used to this, but we are making a record. We got to use yes and no's for answers. So Mr. Zuazo was brought to the St. Mary Cement Company as a temporary employee through some agency that your company works with. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you said that, excuse me, when he was hired in as an employee, after 90 days, your company issued things such as boots to him. Is that correct?
So, yes, the 90 days that I was speaking of originally was as a temporary employee. While they're temporary employees, there are some folks that we've had to buy boots for because they couldn't afford to buy boots and they were in horrible condition. That wasn't the case for Joshua. He made the 90 days. He always had his, his boots and all that stuff and clothing. He did use, can't remember whose it was, but sometimes we'll have extra clothing there, and he would use those shirts that were not being used by somebody else, right?
You mean while he was a temporary employee?
Yes.
Okay. And so then, after he became an actual hired employee of St. Mary's Cement Company, then these Wolverine steel toe boots were issued to him. Is that correct? And the reason that your company didn't have to provide him with footwear prior to that time was because when he came to work, he had the appropriate footwear to do. Now, he was in the cleanup aspect of the concrete production?
Cement, sir.
Cement production.
Yes.
And so this is making the powder that goes into concrete mix, and he worked in a factory, is that right?
An industrial environment. I guess it's a factory. When you say factory, a lot of people think GM, pharmaceutical.
Well, I'm just thinking.
It's not clean.
I didn't ask you whether it was clean. I take your word for it that it's dirty, but it's a place that is it's a regular spot that people go to every day where cement is produced, correct?
Yes,
And so he was not on the production side, he was on the cleanup side, correct?
Originally, yes.
And then eventually he moved up to being on the production side?
Yes, sir.
While he was on the cleanup side, were you the supervisor of the cleanup people, or were you the supervisor of the production people?
No, I'm the manager of production.
Manager of production.
I have people that are supervisors below me. There is a supervisor that manages a cleanup crew every day, and I've got a couple other supervisors that manage things.
So you have another supervisor that manages the production then, too, is that right?
Yes, I have a...
Because you're a higher up, couple levels above the laborers, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, if you got people working for you that are supervising other people below them, then you're a couple levels up, right?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth. That's the reality of your job, correct?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where you're going with this, but if you're going with,
I'll ask the questions. And if I ask you if you're wrong about knowing them, I'll get to that, okay? But right now, I ask the questions and you answer them. And the last question I asked is you were 2 levels above Mr. Zuazo and the other workers that were at his level, correct?
1 level above him.
Well, I thought you said you had supervisors working below you.
Different places.
Well, how about in cleanup?
There was one person that supervised the cleanup that worked directly for me.
Okay. And below that person was the workers, right?
Yes.
So that's 2 levels. You've got a supervisor working for you who is in charge of the workers at the lowest level, correct? So that you're 2 levels above, right?
Okay.
No, it isn't okay. You can add, can't you? You got the little people down on the bottom. You got the supervisor that you hired or you put in place, and then you're that supervisor's boss, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, how much time would you be spending with a guy that's 2 levels below you in what you refer to as the field?
I spend quite a bit of time in the field. Actually, about 50 to 60% of my time is spent in the field.
So I grew up in a family of construction people, and I spent a lot of time in what we called the field. And the field was where the construction was actually being done, the job. But what you're telling me is that you're calling your factory situation the field. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but that's indoors or in a yard, correct?
Yes, it's both indoors and outdoors,
Okay.
several different buildings.
And there's all kinds of activity going on. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
But you're 2 levels above the workers who are doing the cleaning. How often would you be out there seeing whatever it is that Mr. Zuazo was doing as a temporary employee?
Quite often, because
Well, how often? Not quite often, but are you doing that every day?
every day.
Every day.
Every day I'm out in the field. I spend at least 50 to 60% of my time out in the field, sometimes even more.
How many men or women or both work out in the field?
There's 4 people on shift. There's 6 to 7 temporary employees that do the cleanup, a supervisor, and a control room operator. He's not actually in the field. He's in the
So, and then how many of those supervisors are you on top of?
the cleanup supervisor.
And the production.
SRO, and the production supervisor actually works at night shift.
Okay. So, and you're not there at night because you're working during the day?
Yes, sir.
So you're seeing, you're interacting with, it sounded like 7 people in the cleanup crew and then the supervisor and one other job that you mentioned. So you got about 9 people there, right?
Yeah, usually.
And then this is a big place, right?
Yes, sir, I guess.
Well, I don't want you to guess. I haven't been there. The jury members haven't been there. Is it a big place or is it some little tiny thing where 7 people are all shoulder to shoulder in the factory?
It's not like that at all.
All right. There's a lot of moving around because you said some of it's outside and some of it's inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
that's
sir.
a yes. And so the fact is, and you're supposed to be checking out what's happening and making sure that the production is going correct.
Yes, sir.
Also seeing that the cleanup is being done correctly,
Yes, sir.
right? Because if the cleanup isn't done right, then that affects the production, correct?
And many times the cleanup requires somebody to go by and troubleshoot why we have cleanup needs. You know,
Okay.
what's spilling, diagnosing what the problem is. You know, does the skirting need adjusted? Is the belt tracked over? Why are we having that spilling?
And you're doing that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's your job. That's your primary function of being the supervisor there, the manager, whatever the title that you said earlier that I forgot.
Production manager.
Production manager. It's making sure that that cement is being produced so that it can go where it needs to be in order to become concrete, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got contracts that there's demands for this stuff, correct?
Yes,
So your real important responsibility is make sure that that cement is going out the gate of the factory operation.
Yes, sir.
And making sure that all the machinery is working correctly, right?
Yes, sir.
And in the meanwhile, you got 7 people there that are working at Mr. Zuazo's level. Are you interacting with all of those people a lot every day?
At least once a day, I would encounter the cleanup crew, if nothing more than to check on what was going on with the crew and the particular job that they're working on. And like I said, take a look at what's happening with that spillage and why that spillage is there.
So you're seeing Mr. Zuazo all the time, and he's there for those 90 days, and you didn't object to the idea that he was hired in as a regular employee. Is that right?
No.
Was it your idea that he get hired?
I talked with my supervisor. and
Okay.
We discussed, you know, merits, and we do that with everybody.
Okay.
That we hire in, just so that we have a sounding board for, you know, if what I'm seeing is what he's seeing, right?
Okay. And whatever it was that was being observed was good enough for him to get hired, right?
Yes, sir.
So he wasn't a bad employee at that point.
No, not a bad employee, no.
Okay.
There-
And then after the 90 days of being a temp, where he gets to the point where he's hired in, 60 days later, now he's not an employee anymore because he's not wearing the safety glasses that you got for him as often as is required, which I imagine would be 100% of the time.
Yeah, it wasn't just the safety glasses. There were other times where he didn't have his proper PPE on.
What's PPE?
Personal protective equipment. That's the safety glasses, hard hats, steel toes, gloves, etc.
Okay. So sometimes he wasn't dressed properly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was the reason that led to his dismissal
That was one.
on the news. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And of course, there hasn't been anything bad that happened to you in between the day that he was dismissed, correct?
No.
And you don't know anything about his unemployment request being objected to by your company.
I never even heard anything about
Okay,
that.
I mean, that's not your
Absolutely.
responsibility there at the job. When he threatened you like that, did you go to the police and tell them that I discharged this person and he threatened me?
The reason I didn't go to the police.
Why? The question is not why, yes or no, and it sounds like the answer is no.
It would be no.
Yes, and then here this time goes by, and you remember this man, Mr. Zuazo, if for no other reason than because he said something to you that was unsettling. Is that correct? Threatened to kill you?
You're gonna have to rephrase that because I don't understand
All
what
right.
you're saying.
When you saw the video,
Mm-hmm.
you recognized, you say, Mr. Zuazo, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is this guy who threatened to kill you when he got let go from your company, right? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Because we're making a record. I know you're saying yes, but we got to just get it.
I'm with it. I apologize.
All right, no problem. And so that was something that stuck in your mind. You didn't forget that, right?
What, did he threaten to kill me?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I've had several employees that we've terminated that have threatened to kill me. I mean, I had one that called and texted for 4 or 5 months afterwards saying they were going to kill me. And the reason I didn't call the police for Joshua was because I called the police on the other guy, and I couldn't get anybody at all to give me any help. Nobody. Not Taylor, not Downriver, not the Detroit police, none of them. So,
But in fact-
in my mind, I wasn't going to get any help if I called. So, You gotta understand that there's
Okay.
reasons behind why I didn't call.
That's fair enough. Nevertheless, you say that regardless of whether you told the police, you did tell it to Detective Pacmire that he made that threat against you. Is that a yes?
That's a yes.
And by doing that, then this trouble comes Mr. Zuazo's way, right? Because you're making this identification.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you feel a little bit of justification about that, correct?
No, sir. That's
No?
the reason I called.
All right.
Pacmire.
Now, in your written statement, because when you met with Detective Pacmire on the, I think it was like the 17th or the 18th of October, and you wrote out this statement, you said that what you heard Joshua Zuazo say on the Ring video was, "Come on, let's go." You remember that?
Yes, sir.
All right. But the person who's doing the speaking, you saw the video just a few moments ago, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
And what the person who's doing the speaking and walking away from the garage says is, "Come on, man." Did you hear that?
Yes. I mean, it was in the video.
Well, did you note that? Did it impress you that he said that? "Come on, man." That's the only statement that's made by whoever that speaker is. Not, "Come on, let's go," like you wrote in your handwritten statement that you gave to Detective Pacmire on whatever date it was, October 18th.
You're asking me to say exactly what I heard on the video, but
I'm not
I thought
asking
I
you.
read-
Well, let me just, hold on just a second. May I approach? I'm going to show you your statement.
I know what I said. I know what I wrote on there. You don't have to approach me with it.
Well, did you see the part where you just, that statement, "Come on, let's go," is in quotation marks? Your handwriting, right?
Should be.
Well, let's get it verified. May I approach, Your Honor?
Are you having difficulty remembering, sir, what's on there, on your statement?
I don't know. I wrote the statement a year ago. I mean,
Okay, all right, if that helps refresh your memory, you may approach.
Take a look at that. I'm just going to ask you, is that the
Yep.
statement or a copy of the statement you wrote for Detective Pacmire?
Sure looks like my handwriting.
Well, you remember writing it, right?
I remember writing the statement, yes.
Okay. And,
Exactly what I wrote in the statement, I don't remember from a year ago, but
well, is it your handwriting that says, "Come on, let's go"?
yes,
Those quotation marks, were those yours?
yes.
Is that the way that you customarily would quote somebody, by using quotation marks? If you were writing something out?
Usually that's what they taught me in English in school.
Well, I understand that. I'm just asking you because you meant that to be a direct quote, correct? Otherwise, you wouldn't have put those quotation marks around it, right?
Okay. Yes.
And you wrote that right after you were sitting in the squad car or the police car with Detective Pacmire, and he showed you the Ring video on his laptop computer. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And that was bright and early, or not bright and early, it was before sunrise on the morning of the 18th of October.
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it true also that you were wearing a uniform from St. Mary's Cement Company at that time?
Yes.
And on that uniform, over, I believe it is the right side, is a kind of a green color name tag. Is that,
No, we don't
No?
have name tags.
do you have some kind of green emblem there?
No.
A patch of some
nothing over
sort?
here.
How about up on the upper left side?
Yeah, there's a St. Mary's tag up here.
Okay, so it's not your name. I watched the video. I couldn't read it. I could just see it. But that does identify it as St. Mary's, correct? The uniform that you wear, the shirt that you wear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And that shirt is different than what you observed in that video, correct?
Yeah, it looks like somebody removed the St. Mary's patch on it.
So,
They're not hard to remove.
if you take the St. Mary's pack off of a uniform that you or customarily wear, it looks like any other jersey then, right?
There is one other identifying thing. If you can bring the video up, I'll show you on the right pocket. There's a small patch sewed on there. It says Carhartt, or has a Carhartt emblem and has FR beside it.
Okay, well, we can run it again, if that's, it might be
You were
appropriate.
asking me, I was telling you how else to get it
That's
identified.
what you would say, but, I mean, that's what you say, I understand that. You have, the fact is, you finished with the exhibit there, correct? Not exhibit, but your statement, I'll take that back from you. And perhaps, if you want to go through that again, we'll put it another time.
It was the first, Mike, it was the first one.
It is the last one, it's that one. I believe is what he was talking about, because that's what I was talking about, that's where the questions were.
You got to be able to see the front of the uniform. There's the one.
So on that one, there's no front of the uniform?
No, sir.
All right. Oh, by the way, you talked about the bag. You said during direct examination that you saw the bag that Mr. Zuazo customarily carried.
Yes, sir. Looks like the one he carried back and forth to work.
Okay, looks like it. You can't say that's the same bag then, can you?
No.
And you don't know where that bag that you see in that video came from, correct?
No.
And the bag that you say that Mr. Zuazo would bring to work with him, you don't know where that came from either, correct?
No.
And you can't say for absolute certainty that the boots you see the individual in that ring video wearing are what you described as these wedge toe boots. Not wedge toe, steel toe, but by a company that begins with a W, correct? Pardon, Wolverine. You can't say that those are, for certain, Wolverine steel toe boots, can you?
They sure look like
They look like it because they're brown, isn't that right?
it. No, sir.
No?
It's the style. It's the sole. It's the way the boot looks. You can see that it's an actual steel toe, the way the front of the boot is formed.
So your testimony, just like those are Wolverine steel toe shoes, is the same as what we just talked about here. Come on, let's go. Same thing, right? You're sure? Yes or no?
I'm sure what, that the boots look like Wolverine boots?
Yes.
Yes.
Just like you're sure when you wrote that statement what that man in the video said. Come on, let's go. Nothing further. Thank you. Appreciate your answers.
Okay, thank you. Cross-exam Hernandez.
I have no questions, thank you.
Redirect people.
Yes. And so I want to play that video that we played earlier for you, okay? And
Go home.
Excuse me, do you have the video where he's already
And I didn't know why we
scanned?
drive so late, but we had to check the outside.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. You know,
Listen, how you doing today, sir? I'm all right. So, you want to read? What am I signing for? Just to give us consent to check the inside of the home. So what we
See
have
that
to
tag
do.
right there?
and so I want to ask you some questions. So what we just saw, the tag that's on his left chest, okay, and that's familiar to you.
Yes, the Carhartt tag right here on the flap of the,
Yes, and why is that familiar to you?
because it's on every last one of our shirts.
Okay, and then you mentioned on cross-examination something about the letters FR.
Yes, which makes those pretty unique because they're fire resistant, fire retardant, and most places don't buy fire retardant clothing for their guys. We do because they have to energize, de-energize breakers, which puts them in risk of an arc flash explosion when they're doing that. So we buy and require everybody to wear fire resistant shirts and pants.
So the temporary employees and then the employees the attempts to eventually become employees, your company buys the fire retardant Carhartt shirts.
Yes, sir. Once they're hired in.
And based on your time with St. Mary's Cement, employees are given those shirts.
Yes.
And was Mr. Zuazo given one of those shirts?
Yes, he was. He was given 11 shirts and 11 pants.
And then you testified on direct that you aren't aware that those shirts were given back to the company?
No.
Okay. And that shirt resembles the ones that you've given to employees?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I know there's some question at cross-examination regarding the boots. Do you wear boots to work every day?
I do.
Have you been wearing boots your entire profession at St. Mary's?
Yes, St. Mary's, and for the other 20 years that I was in cement.
Fair. So are you, and most employees that are working under you and with you, are they required to wear boots?
Yes.
Are they required to wear a certain type of boot?
They are required to wear at least an ankle-high steel-toed boot.
Right. And like you said, if the employee does not have it, that's provided through the company.
Yes.
Right. And it was your testimony on direct that Joshua Zuazo had his own boots at one time.
Yes.
And was he ever given boots?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And the boots that he was given, do those resemble the boots that you saw on the ring camera videos that you observed in front of Detective Pacmire and the ones that we just played for you in court?
Absolutely.
Okay. And there is a testimony that he would get complaints or get in trouble for not wearing the personal protection equipment.
Yes.
Okay. When those complaints occurred, did they go directly to you, or would it be through someone above you?
It depended because most of the time it was me seeing him not wearing his safety glasses. There were times where a supervisor that worked for him would come to me and say, "Look, he's not wearing all his PPE, etc."
And so, as part of your employment at St. Mary's and having him work underneath you, did you have to address that particular issue while not wearing PPE while he was working?
I did. I talked with him, and that was at the point where we started to discuss the fact that he needed prescription glasses, and we bought the prescription glasses for him.
So it's your testimony that you directly confronted or spoke to him concerning those PPE complaints?
Yes, sir.
And did he speak to you about that? You had a conversation with him?
Yes, we had several conversations about the PPE.
Okay.
And the other thing you got to understand is that within that 90-day period that they're working for St. Mary's, I don't have to have a reason to let somebody go. If they're not working out for whatever reason, we can allow them to go their own way. So.
Okay. And that's what he did in this instance?
Well, no. In this instance, it was directly because of his willingness to wear the correct PPE.
Okay. And when he was terminated, he threatened to kill you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it was your testimony across that this has happened not just from him, but from other employees?
Yeah.
Okay. And those other employees you didn't pick out on that ring video, did you? Those other employees that threatened to kill you, they weren't?
No, I've never encountered them.
Okay. And in between the time that he was let go, threatened to kill you, had you had any contact or any situation where you saw Joshua?
No, not that I saw him.
Okay. And so, would it be fair to say, when he threatened to kill you, was that something you harbored, you kept in, or was it just normal perks of the job?
It's one of the things that comes along with managing people and letting people go. Nobody wants to get fired. Nobody wants to get let go. People have families. But sometimes it's part of what you have to do.
And you testified across that when he threatened to kill you, that wasn't the reason you called Detective Pacmire?
No.
Okay. What was the reason you contacted the Oakland County Sheriff's Office?
Because the video I saw, it looked like Joshua Zuazo. I knew the guy. He worked for me. I felt that I needed to tell somebody that this is what I believe was going on. That I knew this guy.
Why did you feel it was necessary to tell the police that it was somebody you knew, somebody that worked for you, someone that you knew in the past? Why did you feel that was necessary?
Because I feel it was the right thing to do. I feel that, somebody had to speak up about it. It wasn't just me that recognized him on that video. It was,
Well, objection to
Yeah, I have to answer
that last statement, I asked it to be stricken.
It's stricken.
Thank you, Judge.
1 second. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may with what?
Exhibits.
All right, which ones?
There'd be exhibits 3JJ, 3KK, 3LL, 3MM, and 3NN.
All right, come on.
So I'm going to hand you all those numbers that I just said. You just take a look at these for me, please. You let me know when you're done looking at those. Do those at all look familiar to you?
yeah.
And how do they look familiar to you?
There's safety boots that are pretty common for us to buy for employees.
Are these the same type of boots that you would purchase for temp employees or the employees after they become hired?
Yeah, I mean, we buy, it just depends based on what the employee's desire are. Sometimes we buy different boots. Sometimes it depends on, you know, I hate to say this, but if one boot's cheaper than the other, we'll choose to buy the other boot.
So it'd be fair to say that it's not one particular brand or one particular style that St. Mary's would purchase.
And the other thing that we do too is there.
Well, excuse me. He's already testified that he gave them those Wolverine steel-toed boots. Now, it sounds, because the pictures look different than those, he hasn't identified them to be that he's got another.
Well, what's the objection here other than testifying on the record?
Well, the objection is that there's no foundation for those pictures, and he hasn't identified them
Well, I
to
think that's
be.
what they're working on.
What? All right, then I would ask that, because this exhibit's being put in, I get the opportunity to cross on it
All right, let's see where it
Thank
goes.
And Mr. Brown, you said these type of boots look familiar because these are the ones that St. Mary's purchased. That's what you testified?
Quite often, yes.
And do these appear to be boots? These are Timberlands. These are a brand that you guys have purchased.
Yes.
And do you know if Joshua ever wore these particular boots while he was employed with St. Mary's?
Those particular boots?
Yes.
I couldn't tell you if those particular boots were the ones that he wore there. They look like the ones that we purchased for employees. There's a third method by which they get boots through us too. They can go out and buy their own boots and then get reimbursed for them.
And then St. Mary's would pay
reimburse them for it, yeah.
Okay, that was, the questioning was outside the scope of your original
Yeah,
direct.
and
So
Your
I'll
Honor,
allow
I'm not-
follow-up questioning.
I'm not going to move to omit these.
Okay, so I'll allow follow-up questioning by Defendant Zuazo.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I understood in your at least cross-examination testimony that Mr. Zuazo came to the job with proper clothing in the way of footwear, and that you didn't have to provide anything to him like you would other temporary employees, correct?
Yes.
And then when it was decided that he would actually be employed, then the Wolverine steel-toed boots were purchased for his benefit and given to him, correct?
Yes. I actually have a receipt for purchasing the boots, and I can tell you exactly what boot was purchased for.
Well, but your testimony today, unless you have that receipt with you, your testimony was,
I do.
well, your testimony today was that it was Wolverine steel-toed boots.
You can't look it up right now. You can't
Oh, all
look
right.
it up. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So
Ask the question.
are you changing your testimony about the Wolverine steel-toed boots that you bought for Mr. Zuazo when he began working as a full-time employee?
No.
Okay, and he had his own shoes when he came on the job, correct?
He did.
And you said that you couldn't say that the pictures that you just were shown were pictures of boots that you ever saw Mr. Zuazo wear, correct?
No.
The only thing you can say is that you think those boots in that video from front of the garage are, which it's not up there anymore, they changed it to a different one, but the boots that the man in that video from the garage are wearing are Wolverine steel-toed boots, correct?
They sort of appear to.
They-
They're like those too. They all look quite similar.
That's a very good point. Brown boots look pretty similar, don't they? Especially when all you're seeing is the toes part of it and the heel part of it, because the individual wearing the boots is also wearing long pants.
So let's go back to actually the video's right there.
The question was,
If we look at those boots right
Excuse
here,
me.
look at those boots, they look identical.
All right, we're doing question-answer format here, and let's not keep asking the same question over and over again, Mr. McCarthy. Is there another question?
well, I'd like to get an answer to the one that I just
What
asked,
was
which
that?
was, the reason the boots look similar is because all you're seeing is the toes and the heel part, the soles, and because the person who's wearing them is wearing long pants too, right?
No, you can see the toe and everything on these boots right here.
That's what I just said. The toe, the heel, the sole, that's what you get to see, right? Not the tops.
Yes, sir.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, and you redirect based on that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, Mr. Broad, you are all set. You can step down, sir. You didn't have any questions, did you, Ms. Lofton? I did. Okay. All right, can this witness be excused?
No objection.
Objection. Oh, okay, all right. Who's next?
Detective Pacmire.
All right. Well,
I don't know how long you're
How
gonna
long will this witness testify for?
40 minutes, maybe?
All right, we can do it then. We'll go for another half an hour. It's about 4:30.
But I don't think that includes not our cross. Mr. Pacmire was, or Detective Pacmire was very involved with the case, so I do have a number of questions.
That's a true statement.
Well, at least let's get the direct out of the way.
People call Detective Pacmire.
Good afternoon, Detective. I'll get you sworn in. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're going to provide today's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Please be seated and tell us your name.
David Pacmire.
All right, your witness.
Yes, thank you. And sir, can you state your full name spell for the record for us, please?
Yes, David Pacmire II, D-A-V-I-D, P-A-C-H-M-A-Y-E-R, the second.
And sir, where are you employed at?
Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office?
Since 2016,
And what is your current title with the Sheriff's Office?
I'm currently a detective in Rochester Hills,
And how long have you been a detective?
about a year and a half.
Okay. And prior to being a detective, while you're employed with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, how were you employed with the Sheriff's Office?
I originally began as a corrections officer, then road patrol.
Okay. And prior to your employment with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, did you have any other law enforcement experience?
I was a reserve of Macomb County,
And how long was that for?
probably about 7 years, 6 years.
Okay. And back in October 2024, were you assigned to the Rochester Hills substation?
Yes,
Were you a detective at that time as well?
correct.
Okay. On October 10 or October 11, 2024, were you one of the detectives that arrived on scene to the house at Newcastle Drive?
Yes.
Okay. And as a detective that was involved in this case, can you describe some of your duties or what was your responsibilities when you arrived on scene?
I initially arrived on scene, started the investigation with other detectives there. Eventually, I handled a lot of the work on the case, retrieving videos, finding evidence for the case.
And how do you get assigned those particular tasks?
Usually there was an OIC, originally it was Detective Connolly, and then I kind of helped him out with it because I think he was ill, and then our detective sergeant signed a lot of details.
Okay. So would it be a fair characterization that you were heavily involved in the investigation, but you weren't the assigned officer in charge?
Correct.
Okay. During your investigation, were you made aware of a vehicle that may have been involved with the incident at Newcastle?
Yes.
How did you become aware of that?
Detective Downey actually received a call from Officer Hill from DPD. He mentioned that earlier in the day, around 12:15, he came across a vehicle fire.
So there was you got a contact by the Detroit Police Department about a vehicle that was on fire.
Correct.
And how did it come to be that this particular car was that you thought to be involved with this incident?
That officer there on scene took some pictures at that time while it was burning because he thought it was suspicious, and he sent it to us.
Right. And prior to that, did you guys put out any information regarding what type of vehicle it could possibly be?
I believe there was a vehicle put out.
Okay. And then you were contacted by another law enforcement agency that vehicle may be important in your investigation?
Correct.
Okay. And when another detective in your office received that information, what did you do personally with that information?
Actually, myself and Detective Downey went down to the DPD impound yard to look at the vehicle.
And where is that impound yard at?
I can't recall the exact crossroads on it.
It was in the city of Detroit?
It is.
Okay. And do you recall what day you went down there?
It would have been the same day, October 11th.
Okay. And what did you observe about this vehicle that you saw in that impound lot in the city of Detroit?
The vehicle matched the description that was captured on a Ring camera on Newcastle. The vehicle also had a DTE license plate on it. I found out through Lean and SOS.
And when you say Lean and SOS, I know what that is considering what I do for a living, but what is that?
That's our law enforcement information network. It stores all the SOS information on vehicles, meaning registration of the cars, your driver's license information, things like that.
And when you say SOS, what is that?
Secretary of State.
Okay, so this lien that has data regarding license plates, registration, cars, things like that. And when you got that license plate number off of that car that was in an impound lot, what was the information that you gathered from that?
That plate came back to a DTE truck.
Okay. At that time, it came back to a DTE truck.
Correct.
Okay.
I
And
think it was a Freightliner.
okay. And did that car or that truck remain at the impound lot?
No, actually, I stayed there with Detective Downey. We watched it get loaded up on a flatbed. It was taken to Buyers Towing in Rochester City.
Okay, so it came back to your jurisdiction. Yes. And there, did you look through the car? Or did you notice anything about that car? Did you take time to investigate it?
We did look at it, yes.
Okay. Were you able to receive a VIN number off of that car?
Yes, the truck was poor. It was badly burnt out, but we were able to find a hidden VIN on it and recover that.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. May I approach the witness?
You may. What are you coming up with?
I am coming up with People's Exhibits 15B, C, D, E, F, and G.
Okay.
Can you take a look at these for me, please? Good. And do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
How do you recognize those?
These are photographs taken from the scene by the original tow truck driver that took it to the DPD lot.
But is that fair and accurate description of the truck that you saw that day that was in the impound lot and eventually made its way to Buyers Towing lot in Rochester?
It is.
Okay, they haven't been changed or altered?
No.
Okay.
No.
You know, the people need to admit these.
So it's 15B through 15G. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
No objection. Okay, they're in.
Okay. And may I just stay up here and ask a couple questions?
Yeah, of course.
Detective, in this one, what is that depicting?
That would be the inside cab of the truck, where the steering wheel, dashboard would be, the front seat.
Were you saying where it would be? It's not in there?
No, it's not.
And why is that not in there?
It is burnt out.
Okay. I'm handing you what's already been marked, or admitted as 15F. Is that the license plate that was attached to the vehicle when you observed it?
It is.
And is that the license plate that you ran through your lien system that corresponded to a DTE truck?
It is.
Okay. And 15E, is that, fair to say, just another picture of the burnt truck?
Correct.
In the same state that you saw it?
Yes.
And then 15D?
Driver's side, same state.
And 15C?
And passenger side, same state.
And then 15B.
Yes, that would be the, underneath the hood where the engine would be.
Okay. And so it was your testimony that this car was pretty badly burned?
Yes.
Okay. Was there, when you were observing this vehicle, was there any DT markings or anything on there?
Not when I observed it, no.
Okay. And after observing this truck and going through there, when you got the VIN number, what did you do with that VIN number?
At that point in time, when I got the VIN number, I ran it through Lean SOS again, and it came back to a stolen truck.
Right. And so this lien information, when a car is stolen, how does that get in? If there's a report made, not that the car is stolen, but if a report is made, how does that get placed in lien?
Yes, if your car is stolen, you make a report. Law enforcement will enter the information for that vehicle into our system, Lean, and we'll get notified if we enter that VIN number in that the vehicle's stolen.
And so the vehicle VIN number on that truck that was burned came back stolen?
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall what the reporting agency was out of?
I believe it was reported on September 30th out of Dearborn Heights.
Okay. And then, based on the information that you have with the lien information, the stolen vehicle information and lien, and this plate that was on that vehicle, did that plate register to that VIN number?
No, it did not.
It did not, okay. And were you eventually able to figure out via the lien system where that plate belonged to?
I did.
And where did it belong to?
It did belong to DT on Freightliner down at their Trombley station.
And so, but it was not registered or associated with the truck that you were reviewing?
No.
Okay. And then you said you recovered this truck at tow lot in Detroit. Did you go to the scene where it was reported to have been recovered?
I did.
Okay. And do you recall what area that was recovered in?
Yes, it was, I want to say it was 1800 John R.
Okay.
Which is between 6 and 7 Mile and John R.
Okay. And you drove past that? What type of area is that?
It's very desolate.
Okay.
It's kind of vacant.
Would it be fair to say there's a lot of vacant lots?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not like an industrial complex or?
No.
Okay. And part of your investigation, did the sheriff's office request or go look for any sort of surveillance videos from any houses or businesses that were located there?
Yeah, I think the day of the incident, our FAT team was sent down there to look for video on houses, the few that are down there.
Okay. And you said the few that were down there?
Yes.
And based on your investigation, were you and your team able to recover any videos in that area?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that video located?
The video is located about 2 blocks north of where the truck was found on 90 East Greendale.
Okay. And that's in the city of Detroit as well?
Yeah. Actually, that's Ham Tramck, I believe, zip code.
And were you able to obtain that video?
Yes.
Okay. Did you review that video?
I did review it.
Okay. And did you review it before coming to court as well?
Yes.
Okay. And the people are going to move to admit and publish people's exhibits 21A and 21A at this point, Your Honor.
Excuse me, could we take down
Oh, yeah.
the exhibit that's been up there for
Yeah.
a while?
Yeah, of course, we'll take that down, but
Thank
is
you.
there, I'm assuming the parties have seen 21A and B?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Or do you want any additional foundation to be established before admitting it?
No, I think we are satisfied.
Okay, all right, 21A and B are admitted.
Thank you. And Your Honor, people move to publish it this time.
Go ahead.
And then after done playing, I'll probably just ask you a couple questions. As you know, you can see that right up there.
Yes.
And Detective, do you recall what time of day this video was that was recording?
12/11.
And what date was that?
It was on October 11th.
Okay. And so about 12 o'clock afterwards, was that after the 911 call that came through from the Newcastle address?
Yes.
Okay. And when we were watching that video, we see a truck drive up and to the left of that video. Would that be fair to say?
Correct. It was driving westbound.
Westbound. Is this of that street? Is this a two-way street, one-way street?
It is a one-way street. You only go west.
Okay. And so west of what we just saw there, what's over there?
That would be John R.
Okay. And it was your testimony that it was a couple blocks away that this burned out car that you reviewed was located there.
Correct. It would be south of there.
It would be south of there.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to play 21B at this time. Detective Pacmire, was that the car that we just saw, was it traveling in the same direction that we just saw that white truck?
Correct, at 1216.
Okay. And based on the information you have in your investigation, that car that we just saw, was that significant in your investigation of this particular crime?
Yes.
And how did that particular car that we just saw in there, how did that become important to your investigation?
That car was eventually identified as defendant Hernandez's Jeep.
Right. And what type of car was that?
It's a Grand Jeep Cherokee. I think it was a 2020.
Okay. And so during your investigation, that car came to be linked to the defendant Hernandez?
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall what time of day this clip that we just watched, what time of day that was after the first one that we saw?
That was 5 minutes after the DTE truck went by at 1216.
Right. So the first video showed the DTE truck, and then the second video shows a car that resembles a car that was associated with Ms. Hernandez.
Correct.
Okay. And then just off the screen, a little while later, that car is recovered, burned out.
Correct. You know, you hear the explosion in the video.
That's the sound that you believe you were hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
And then at some point, were you made aware or were contacted by Home Depot, asset protection, or how did that come about?
Yes. Detective Durfee actually contacted Home Depot Asset Protection to see if they could link up purchases of certain items at the same time, which he requested a high-viz vest in Gorilla Tape.
Okay, so would it be fair to say you had information or items that would potentially be associated with the Newcastle address or your investigation?
Correct.
And that information was then relayed to Home Depot?
Correct.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that Home Depot then reached out to you guys and provided video and possibly receipts?
It was requested. We requested Home Depot to look up these certain items, see if they were purchased, and then look into the video.
And as a detective, is that common practice or something you have done in the past during investigations?
Yes.
Okay, so you reaching out asking for a reverse item lookup, this wasn't outside of your normal standards of investigation?
No.
Okay. So be fair to say that certain items are given to an LPO or asset protection person from Home Depot. They do what they do and then potentially submit either video or in-store receipts related to those items.
Correct.
Okay. And then after receiving items and other investigations, you can review videos and see if that matches anything that you guys are looking for.
Correct.
Okay. In this particular case, did they send you videos that were associated with those type of items that you requested?
They did. They sent us a transaction receipt and video.
Okay. And when those were obtained, did you review those items?
Yes.
Okay. And, Your Honor, the people are going to move to admit and publish People's Exhibit 19A at this time, and I'll hold off on 19B after a couple questions. And is that the only video that Asset Protection from Home Depot sent you?
No.
Is that the one from, this is the one from Allen Park, though, right?
Correct.
And then were you, Your Honor, may I approach?
Okay.
I'm handing you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 19B.
Yes.
Do you recognize this?
That is a receipt that they supplied.
When you say they, is that the Asset Protection from Home Depot?
Correct, from Home
Okay,
Depot.
and and then, has that been changed or altered or any way since Home Depot Asset Protection sent that over to you?
No.
So that's a fair and accurate copy of what they gave you concerning transactions that you guys were looking for?
Correct.
Okay, and based on information you had, that based on the video they sent you, those transactions correspond to the people that were on, who you were looking for at that date and time?
Correct.
Okay. People moved to admit and to publish at this time.
This is 19B, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
No objection. All right, it's in.
And I'm going to publish on here so you can see. Not too clear a copy. What on this receipt, Detective Pacmire, based on your investigation, are there any items of note during your investigation on this receipt?
There's multiple items. The Gorilla Black duct tape, the respirators, cotton spray socks with hood, safety vest, the gloves, I believe the poncho.
And why were those important or significant to your investigation?
The Gorilla Black duct tape was used at the scene of the crime. The suspects were wearing the respirator with the high-viz safety vest and the gloves, along with the cotton spray sock.
And that's based on your observation of the Ring video camera that was taken from the Murray's household from the night of the 10th and the 11th?
Correct.
The morning of the 11th. Okay. Yeah, may approach the call. Thank you. And then also as part of your investigation, did you reach out or was contacted by Lowe's?
We did reach out to Lowe's after learning information.
Yeah, and why did you reach out to Lowe's?
I ran the white Grand Cherokee that belonged to Hernandez through our flock system.
And then real quick, what is, I know we had someone testify a little bit for flock. What is flock and what is that used for in investigations?
It is a license plate reader camera, so it'll tell us where people are that have warrants, or maybe if we're looking for a certain vehicle such that we were in this incident. There's public ones, there is private owned ones also, like Lowe's has.
You said Lowe's has their own flock system?
Yes.
How would you have access to that?
We do get access to it, but they put them in on their grounds.
Okay, so if you're looking for something, you can reach out to Lowe's and say, hey, see if there's a flock hit on a particular license plate.
Actually, I look it up myself. We can view their cameras.
Okay, and so you have the license plate belonging to that vehicle, that Cherokee that associated with defendant Hernandez?
Correct.
Okay, and tell us how you went about using the flock system to find out about Lowe's.
I did enter it into the flock system. I can't remember how many days. In the morning of October 11th, it revealed that that vehicle went to that Lowe's location. I believe that was also in Ellen Park. Their cameras capture images going in and out of their parking lot of vehicles from their driveways.
So you plug in or type in the license plate
Correct.
into their Lowe's system, and this particular occurrence that you're about to testify to pops up.
Yes.
And then
With pictures of the vehicle.
Okay, and then once you receive that, what do you do with that information?
At that point in time, I believe, Detective Durfee contacted Lowe's, and we were able to recover surveillance videos of the subjects in that vehicle there.
Okay. That time that is recorded on flock through a low security video, do you recall what day it was and what time of day it was?
It was October 11th. I want to say it was around 9:30 in the morning, 9:34.
And based on your information that you had from the investigation and responding to the Newcastle address, would that be before the incident that you responded to?
That would be before.
Okay. And do you recall what city this Lowe's was located in that was the Hernandez vehicle was spotted on the flock
I
camera?
believe it was Allen Park.
Allen Park? Okay. Now, the people are going to move to omit and publish people's exhibits 20A and 20B at this time, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, I have no.
No objection. All right, the A and B are in and you may publish.
Thank you. And Detective, when you received the videos, did you review those videos?
I did.
Okay. And when those videos came to you, were they broken up in clips and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. And Detective, is that the Cherokee that you had the license plate to that popped up on Flock?
Yes.
Okay. This video is going to be a couple minutes long. So. And Detective Pacmire, is that a timestamp down the bottom of the screen?
It is.
And what is that?
It is right now currently at 9:27 a.m. on October 11, 2024.
Thank you. Detective Pacmire, they all came over the clips, and it would be fair to say that I just presented these all together.
Yes.
may approach the witness. I'm handing you what's been marked as people's,
20C.
thank you, Your Honor, yes.
Come on up.
Can you take a look at that for me, Doctor? Does that look familiar?
Yes, it's a Lowe's receipt.
And is that a fair and accurate copy of the Lowe's receipt that was given to you by